What's going on YouTube? This your boy The Boost on the GCO. Here today to talk about some of the bowl games that will happen here tonight. And we're gonna have some fun and some ideas that I think is the reason why we didn't see Ohio State in the playoffs and things of that nature. It's a lot of things that people don't want to hear or are scared to say. And being an avid fan of the Ohio State University, I'm gonna come out and say some things that people are not gonna agree with, but I really would like to get your ideas upon it. So the bowl games are amongst us. Michigan State finally handled their business. The Big Ten, I think, so far is undefeated, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but we definitely got to check that out and watch close, pay close attention. They don't say that the Big Ten is the best football conference in the country for any reason, but I'm going to go over that too because there are some things that are definitely missing out from what was not said and some things that were maybe we paid too much attention to, but we'll see how this goes here. So the first, point that I'm definitely going to make here is why did Ohio State not make the playoffs? My very first thought, honestly, is going to be J.T. Barrett. Um, in the beginning of the season, he was considered a Heisman contender until that we played Oklahoma, anyways. So after playing against Oklahoma, there was one thing that always was consistent with J.T. Barrett. When it comes down to a big game, he doesn't produce numbers the way he normally does. It's almost like he kind of shuts down and doesn't trust his own players to really play with him and, you know, help him guide through a game. A quarterback can't win a game on his own. He needs players around him to actually help him out, which is very important, and a lot of people tend to forget that. So I, you know, jotted down some notes on some games that I thought were pretty important during JT Barrett's career here at Ohio State, and I just wanted to point them out and see what you guys think also. So the first game I'm going to use here is Oklahoma here in 2017. JT Barrett only threw for 183 yards, had a 21 QBR rating overall. Okay. Iowa, now this is not a big game or it shouldn't have been, but it's one that I'm just going to use because he broke that marker that everyone notices about him. He had a 33 QBR rating, which is very low once again, and 208 yards. Michigan State, as always, he struggles with them. I'm not exactly sure why, but he had an 18.4 QBR rating in 2016, 46 yards passing. That may have been due to the weather, but we'll come back to that and see if we can catch that one. Clemson in 2016, obviously in the playoffs last year, he had a 15.2 QBR rating, 127 yards passing. The one consistency with all of these is the simple fact that he always gets less than 200 yards on big games. Now, the first time he played Oklahoma, he got more than 200 yards, but I honestly personally thought that was a fluke and he was just close to home and that's how he wanted to play. So tonight, when they play against USC, I have a new goal for him. That's why I want this video to come out before they play USC. I want to see if he can get more than 200 yards passing, which would be very interesting for me to witness. And, he goes out with a bang with his Ohio State career, you know. But one other thing we really definitely want to mention and make sure we don't forget is that JT Barrett has really rewritten the record books here at Ohio State for the entire Big Ten. He's rushed for over 700 yards this season. He has over 3,000 yards passing. I mean, it's recognized what he is doing. I'm not bashing the guy. I'm just saying maybe Ohio State was not the best location for him. I'm not sure. Maybe the spread offense was not the best option for him to be in. Maybe he needs more of a pro style offense. Maybe he just needs to trust his receivers because, in all honesty, we watched Dwayne Haskins come in after the Michigan game, and the offense almost looked like it went from a spread offense to a pro style offense. It didn't look the same. Dwayne Haskins was staying in the pocket. He wasn't really scrambling. He was throwing dime shots down the field, and it was very interesting to watch. That's why I can't personally wait to see him next year, and I really hope he is the starter because he will be an exciting person to watch on the years going down here. Now, going back from that little distraction there, why did Ohio State really lose a spot in the playoffs? And why do I say it's JT Barrett? I'm going to come back to that Iowa loss this year. That it was too much for the committee to look over. Now, let's not mistake something. Alabama got the nod, but that's because they looked like they played like a, great team going forward and all that throughout their season. But to be completely honest, they only had one game on that entire season, which was against Auburn. Uh, and Auburn had to prove themselves coming up in the entire season. We've seen what the committee did with their rankings. They really didn't care much for it. So, we're going to need a little bit of time to see what's going to happen with this game on Monday with Alabama and Clemson. I have Clemson winning, by the way, in case anyone wants to know the answer to that. So, Skip Bayless over the season was just talking about, once Ohio State lost to Iowa, that the playoffs will be the Alabama Invitational. Well, Skip, you're right. And I agreed with you from the very first moment. Because ever since that October, November timeframe, October I believe it was, when Ohio State played Penn State, I told everyone around me, and I should have made a video about this, that if Ohio State beats Penn State, the Big Ten is out of the playoffs. And I'll tell you why. Ohio State beats Penn State means we don't have a representative for the Big Ten East. Ohio State initially lost to Oklahoma. They would have had to win out. They needed Michigan to stay relevant. And Penn State, of course, once again, they're all in the Big Ten East. So one way or another, you needed ranked games to make you relevant overall throughout the season. And those teams were losing games. So the only other team that you had left over was Michigan State. Well, what happened after Ohio State beat Penn State? Penn State went on to lose to Michigan State, making Penn State almost irrelevant. Not necessarily irrelevant, but it brought them down in the rankings. They always stayed below Ohio State. They couldn't jump them anymore. And now you've stolen their chances of going to the Big Ten championship. Because once again, we're on the Big Ten East. So the committee has told us what they thought about the Big Ten throughout the season, because the best team in the Big Ten at this point was Wisconsin. They never put Wisconsin in the top 4 rankings until the very last week of the season. And this was because they knew Wisconsin could not beat Ohio State, or at least that would have been a surprise. So if we wanted a Big Ten team in the playoffs, Ohio State had to purposely lose to Wisconsin to give the Big Ten a chance to actually get into the playoffs. That's not what happened. Once again, the committee has told us what they thought about Wisconsin, and they've also told us what they thought about JT Barrett. He went from being a Heisman candidate to someone completely irrelevant to the Heisman race after the Oklahoma game. So the committee is really telling us what they think about Ohio State and Wisconsin. That's why we needed Penn State to beat Ohio State. In that case, Penn State would have definitely beaten Wisconsin, and we would have clearly been in the playoffs with a Big Ten team. And I had a lot of faith in Penn State at this point. Now, right now in the playoffs, I'm just going to put it out there. Dabo Swinney is the best coach in college football right now. You can say it's Old St. Nick. You can say it's Urban Meyer. I absolutely disagree. It's definitely Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney right now in college football is the Bill Belichick of college football. He's not getting the best players in recruiting or anything like that. And he's turning out one of the best teams year in and year out. Now recruits are starting to notice this. He just came into Ohio last week, I believe, and stole a 5-star recruit in Ohio from Ohio State. That's the kind of guy Dabo Swinney has turned into. Now big players want to play for him because they notice what he's doing with the little guys. And don't make me forget about Deshaun Watson either. That was the best quarterback in college football when he was in. Now that one would have been a hard conversation also, because you had Carson Wentz in there too. But Carson Wentz played at North Dakota State and everybody forgot about him. Not me. I paid very close attention. So Dabo Swinney, you give him 3 weeks to dissect Alabama, he's going to do his job. And what I mean by that is this. It amazes me as to how teams in the SEC still lose to Alabama to this day. When you go back to Alabama's games against Ole Miss, against Auburn, when they lose in the Iron Bowl a couple times, Mississippi State, all of these games had one thing in common, one simple thing in common that caused Alabama to lose the game. And that was you spy the quarterback, drop 5 people, make him beat you with your arm. Those 3 key things. Go back and watch all of those games. You had a linebacker or a defensive back that they added in to have 5 safeties, and then they would literally spy the quarterback and say, hey, you're not running for the first down, beat me with your arm. And all those quarterbacks could not do it. It was quite interesting to watch. And then we go back to the 2014 year Ohio State against Alabama. What happened? You spy the quarterback, you tell him you're not faster than me, beat me with your arm. day lockdown. But that's it. It's no mystery how to beat Alabama. You just got to do it and put it in place as a coach. Dabo did it in the championship, but we all didn't pay attention to that. We're just like, oh, Deshaun Watson won it. No, he did it defensively. People did not pay attention to that. This year, I expect to see the same thing in the playoffs. Spy the quarterback, make him beat you with your arm, lock him down. Those three things happen. Clemson's going to walk away with this Alabama game, even if it's a close game. Doesn't matter. Okay. So, one other thing I kind of wanted to touch on here is in the championship this year for the playoffs, I have Clemson versus Oklahoma in the playoffs. Oklahoma scores too many points. I haven't really watched Georgia play. Georgia does have a good defense, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like they're not a good team. But I haven't watched them play too much to really judge them. I don't know exactly. I think Oklahoma's just going to score too many points. They don't have a defense, don't get me wrong, but I just think Georgia's offense is not going to slow them down or stop them. So this is actually going to be a pretty fun game for me to watch, and I'm actually glad it's the first game, Oklahoma and Georgia. So, but I do have Oklahoma coming out this one. It might be a close game, but if Georgia messes up one time and doesn't score, Oklahoma's going to make them pay for it. You know, one of the reasons why I really think this is, well, first of all, let's look at the Heisman Trophy winner, Baker Mayfield. When it comes down to him winning games, if that boy is having fun, he almost never loses. And it's crazy. You watch him on the field, he's having fun, even though he has Ohio State this year. When he's having fun, he's hard to beat. And a lot of people tend to forget this boy can run. He can run the ball. He's one of the best runners. I think they said if he was a running back, he would actually be, he's still in the Heisman race and one of the running backs with the most rushing yards in the season. He's a quarterback. We don't know about that. That's okay though. You know, I'll pay attention to that and let you guys know. But you know, with all the things going on in the playoffs this year, I think it's going to be a great New Year's Day. Everybody can stay home. Most people don't have to work. You can chill out, sit back, enjoy some football. I think New Year's Day is going to be the best college football game day of the year, just hands down. But with all the mishaps with Ohio State, the committee doesn't trust in JT Barrett. He's inconsistent. Well, that's actually wrong. He's very consistent with not putting up numbers in big games. I think the committee looked right past Ohio State the entire time, and the only chance the Big Ten had to actually get into the playoffs was actually Wisconsin. So that's exactly what happened. So, you know, looking back, or well, really looking into the future, Dwayne Haskins, I'm very excited about this guy. Um, Urban Meyer almost coaches as if he owes something to JT Barrett. I really hope we see Dwayne Haskins this year. It's very important, I think, for his career. I think it's for his, um, you know, confidence and everything like that. I really, really hope we get to see this happen for him. So I'm really hopeful to see him play against USC. Sam Darnold, if he declares for the draft, he's going to be one of the top 10 picks, hands down. You know, all those rumors about he doesn't want to play for the Browns, look, listen very carefully, guys. Whether you're going to the NFL to play for the Browns or the San Francisco 49ers, which are the two worst teams in the NFL right now, it doesn't matter. You're going to get paid. These guys are there to get paid. Do they want to win? Of course they want to win.
I'm going to close this door so I don't disturb you.
But that's it. So we'll see what happens going forward. I think Sam Darnold is going to go. He's going to get a tremendous signing bonus, even if he goes to the, you know, Cleveland Browns. He might get anywhere from $10 to $20 million of a signing bonus. Sure, he's going to get a rookie contract, which is fine, but his signing bonus will definitely outweigh his contract, so he'll be perfectly fine. He'll get a chance to play, he'll get some experience, and he'll have some fun. So we'll see how that goes. You know, and right now, one other thing that I did want to talk about was JT Barrett. Once again, you know, we definitely want to thank him for everything he did at Ohio State. Just simply that simple. Do I think he has a chance in the NFL? I don't. I just don't see it. You know, when it comes down to NFL scouts, they're going to look at all his major games and then they're going to look at all the consistencies that he had, which were not good. So I really do feel sorry for the guy, and I don't know if Ohio State was really the best place for him. But I really do hope someone gives him a chance, maybe a sixth or seventh round pick, get him back there to learn in a pro style offense because he may be able to do it. We don't know because we haven't seen it. Give him a chance, and we'll find out what happens. Give him a chance to be a backup quarterback. Let him learn behind someone like Aaron Rodgers or something like that. It might open up his NFL dreams in ways that we can't even imagine right now. I mean, let's not forget, Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Period. He's had 3 years behind Brett Favre learning. That was the best place for him to be because look at what it turned his career into today. So if JT Barrett can get a chance to be a backup like that, to sit back and learn in the pro style offense or a West Coast offense like the New York Giants, but that's only if they keep Eli Manning, then he may have a future in the NFL. But as of right now, I'm not entirely too sure about that or confident about that. So we're gonna leave that one alone. But I cannot wait until these playoff games. For the college games today, I do have Ohio State edging USC by a small margin. I'm going to say by 3 points at this point because if we see JT the whole game, I don't think we're going to be scoring on that defense as easily as people think. So there's the thought on that, and you guys definitely you know, in the comments below, please do comment and subscribe to the channel. I won't only be talking about sports. Sports, of course, is during the sports season, which football is my biggest sport, so that's what I'll be doing in the sports season. But the channel is called a GCO, which means All Games, Electronic Sports in One. So it's just an acronym, but hopefully we'll have a lot of fun future talks and hope to see you guys soon. Thank you for watching.